Hello Cancer, welcome to your July reading. Happy birthday to my July Cancers. July Cancers. So we are just checking out essentially your vibes in the month of July. So I, for some reason, have done your reading kind of differently. I felt like the first thing I was getting with you is that things actually feel quite messy at the moment. I don't know if there's something going on particularly with your mother, but it feels like ancestrally, I feel like you have an ancestor or a parent or someone around you who is worried for your stability and essentially wants you to maybe act upon things in a way that suits them. I feel like the biggest message I'm really getting straight up is that I feel like you guys are someone who really has a creative soul, has a intuitive, passionate, like a very spiritual sort of soul, a soul who look, essentially this is what encompasses it, the seeker archetype. It says light attribute, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. So like, I just feel like you are a soul who's really committed to like seeing things from a higher perspective, seeing things from an alternative perspective, but seeing the magic in the mundane, seeing the magic and the beauty in life. You also have the Peregrine Falcon coming out, which is the card of observation. So, you know, I feel like you guys really have this power to sort of like see the bigger picture and to see things really clearly. And I think that July has you dealing with maybe a family member, particularly for some of you guys it really is your mum, or it's just like a mother figure. It could even be a sister, maybe it's just a feminine energy that you really respect in general, but it feels like they might be feeling a little bit uncomfortable with your version of success and what success looks like to you because it's so different to them. You have the earth element of stability coming out, and Capricorn I use underneath that with Chiron healing. So some of you guys, it almost feels like, you know, you guys are on the axis of Cancer and Capricorn. Obviously, Capricorn is your opposite. So you guys, like, I have an astrologer who says, like, she believes that the zodiac wheel is essentially 6 signs with a polarity, and that's kind of what I think too. I think a Capricorn is a Cancer, and a Cancer is a fucking Capricorn. They just project themselves in different ways in different seasons. And so I feel as though you guys have this really powerful ability. I feel like you have this inner stability. I think that if you wanted to, you could work a job and you could make things happen and you could do the whole route that's normal and conventional and blah, 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 but you're not fucking interested in it. Like, I feel like your family is, or someone in particular is like, I think that you should show up a certain way. I think that you should do life a certain way, and you're trying to teach them or show them that no, actually, I don't. No, actually, I can do things in my own way. And I think that in particularly, this has to do with money. I think it has to do with finances, resources, and career. Because I feel like for some of you guys, particularly whoever you are, beautiful Cancerian soul who is tapped into this reading, it just feels like you have family members who are worried about your resources because they just really believe that, you know, this is the typical, and I'm going to use the story, no, I was just doing a different reading, so I haven't talked to you guys about him yet, but I was just telling Gemini about a guy that I've been listening to lately called Japreet Singh, and he is a finance guy. He teaches all about finance, but kind of like, a lot of it goes over my head, to be honest, but I listened to a podcast with him and I thought I'd check it out. So yeah, but he was talking about, because he comes from a traditional Indian family, and he was saying how he grew up with parents who were 100%, he was convinced his whole life growing up that he had to go to medical school because that was the only way they knew how to have a sense of stability, because the immigrant parents, they were coming to America trying to seek a better life, and the only way to do that back then was to get educated, was to go to school and to have a good job. And so he was always taught that, and then when the crunch time came for him to actually move into medical school, he realized it fucking bothered the shit out of him. He was interested in career, in finances, in business. He was interested in all that sort of stuff, and so he decided, fuck it, I'll follow my heart and I'll do that. And it worked really, really well. But essentially, this is the energy I'm getting for you guys. It kind of feels like maybe you have parents who think like, okay, you know, it's fine to let you go off and like be young and to do your thing while you're younger, but as you get older, they start to crack down a little more and go, but hey, you know, you need a job, or hey, you need to start thinking about having kids, you know, like it's kind of like this energy of other people saying, I know that you're having a really great time right now, and I know that you're really vibing on life and that things are going really well, but I just want you to like think, I'm just worried about your future, darling. Like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And like, you literally had the Ancestors card pop out with this polar bear. So the fact that it's a polar bear too and he's all ice, it does feel like things with family could feel a bit icy at the moment. Purely just kind of because I feel like there's like, you know, with the Moon Soul card coming out, we have this Four of Pentacles in reverse that's clarifying it. And I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a mouse here who's stealing out of her basket. And I just really keep noticing this mouse stealing from her basket. And it's kind of feeling like the fear that your parents or your peers or whoever it is around you has for you, it's more about themselves. It's not really about you. It's actually about themselves, because they maybe had a dream when they were younger. They maybe believed or wanted to do exactly what it is that you're doing, but they weren't able to because it was a different fucking society then, because things were totally different. And now that you're actually getting to live that, it's almost like I'm getting with this Queen of Wands. I've never gotten this before, but I'm getting jealousy. I'm getting a jealousy as she stares at this Six of Wands. And, you know, these kids hatching this little dragon egg that they've been waiting patiently to hatch, that they've been sort of like taking care of and nourishing themselves. She's watching them now jealous. You know, so I feel like there's definitely a jealous energy around you, and this person is jealous because they're also fearful. It's a combination with this Queen of Wands and this Eight of Swords. It's a combination between jealousy and wanting what it is that you have, wishing things were different for themselves, and it's also like a genuine fear for whether you actually. That's why I feel like it's a family member, because that makes sense. It's like, I wish that was for me. But I'm afraid that things won't work out for you, because I genuinely actually do give a really solid fuck about your well-being. You know, in this Page of Pentacles in reverse, it just feels like some of you guys, you know, you might literally be going job to job. You might be job hopping. You might be, with this Seeker card, just out there living life, doing things in the world, and not really, you know, being super duper focused on this Capricorn and this stability in this building. In a way, I feel like you're healing. Yes, Libra underneath that, I balance. It feels like you're actually healing this mentality, because I'm feeling like with you guys, sometimes you guys can actually, or you when you were younger, you might have had like more of this fear, and it feels like as you're actually getting older, you're letting this fear go, because I think that your parents kind of maybe instilled it in you to have these feelings and these thoughts, and I think that that's what you're healing now, and you're finding a stability and a balance between like needing to genuinely give a fuck about your stability and resources and stuff, but also allowing yourself to be free, allowing yourself to seek, to go on adventures, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. You're constantly seeking new experiences, new things, things that are going to connect you with alternative ways of seeing the world. I feel like with this fifth house coming up, your childhood instilled in you specific thoughts and beliefs, and this Ace of Wands in reverse, I feel like your childhood instilled within you specific thoughts and beliefs and specific ideas about money and jobs and working. Like for you, this is funny, because with Gemini we had all career coming up, and with you it feels like not so much about your career, but more so about like your resources and how you're navigating your career, how you're navigating not really giving a fuck about a career. You know what I mean? Like it's just this energy of someone around you who's kind of like uncomfortable with the choices that you're making. And I feel like for some of you in particular, it's your mum. And you know, mum has a right to be worried, mum has a right to be afraid, but like, you can't change yourself for someone else. You can't change your choices to suit her fears. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make these choices for yourself. This healer card, it says light attributes: passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. Now, I seriously feel as though you guys are transforming ancestral pain into healing, because I feel like some of you have ancestors, you have parents who wanted to achieve certain things in life and literally just weren't given the chance to because of the society we lived in, because of the world we lived in. I think it's not so much their fault in that they couldn't make things happen. It was literally the world we lived in is so different to what it is today. And you have opportunities that your parents didn't. And that's where they need to grasp and understand that. You know what I mean? Understand that you're living in a completely different era, that life is completely different. And that you're not held by the same restrictions that they were. Now you have different things that you need to face. You have different challenges, different things. I forgot to mention that we have the air element of communicating in reverse, and that was where this Six of Wands and this Queen of Wands also came out. So that I sort of wanted to speak to that, and just saying that some family members, some people, maybe your mum has something to say. Maybe she does. Maybe she has something to say. And maybe it feels really quite uncomfortable. I feel like, or you know what it is? It might even be that she has something to say and she's actually holding it in. Because for some of you guys, I feel like she might not be saying this. She might be acting like she's all for things, when in reality, she's got this kind of like off energy, and you can sense it. You're aware of it. You're a Cancer, so you can vibe it out anyway. You can tell what she's feeling. But yeah, it just kind of feels like communication's really important, because where she's feeling all these fears, maybe this is where you need to just sort of like put her at ease and say, Mum, it's okay. That is all valid. You are so entitled to feeling those emotions. You're so entitled to feeling those feelings, but this is what's true for me. You know, that's kind of like your way of being able to say, I get it and I respect you, but I also can't take on your energy because it's not serving me, because that's just, things are different now. You know what I mean? So we also have the dilettante card out here that says light attributes. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So, you know, this card is so fucking fitting for this reading right now, because this is you not wanting to be held down by any certain thing. See how it literally says, delight in the arts without having to be a professional. So this is delighting in life without having to be, you know, dedicated to a career right now. Like, this chapter of life that you're in, it might not be about having to have it all figured out. It might be literally about just finding what works for you, finding your truth. I feel like you literally, you're in a seeking energy. You're seeking truth, you're seeking expansion, you're seeking new experiences. So you're being called out from what's comfortable, out from what you know. And I feel like what you actually know, some of you guys literally might have a South Node in Capricorn. You might also have your North Node in Cancer. But it feels like you're on a journey of needing to like leave this structured masculine way of doing things in the past and to do things in a totally different way. Like, you're literally packing up a bag and walking away, and maybe some family members are literally just upset about that. Maybe they're upset about the fact that you're on the other side of the world, that you're doing things that they could never have comprehended doing, and they're fearful for you. And that's well and truly, like I said, it's justified. It's fine to feel that. I'm sure that when I was traveling on the other side of the world, that my parents were uncomfortable. You know, I would be uncomfortable if I was a parent, but we just have to deal with that. And I'm sure you guys, some of you guys will be parents, and you're like, yeah, I really don't like the idea of my kid being in Spain while I'm over here in Australia. And yet I have to deal with it because it's a part of being a human. It's a part of being a parent. So, you know, that's just something that's really coming up. I feel like this is a really, look, we have the eternal child underneath that as well, that says determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So you guys are on a journey at the moment, and July is really going to be highlighting this for you, just how much your perspective is different to your families. I think that this is a completely different, you see the world differently to the way that you grew up seeing the world. You know what I mean? From the perceptions that you were indoctrinated into just by growing up where you did, they're shifting and they're changing because you're just letting go. I feel like you have this really artistic, really beautiful, free-flowing, freedom-loving, creative energy. I feel like I just want to give you a big fucking cuddle. I feel like you're so my vibe. Like, I just feel like you just want to go, like, lay in a field of sunflowers and smoke a joint and paint a picture, and that would be, like, the best day for you. And I feel like I'm here with you, my friend. Let's go fucking do that. You know, I just feel like this is awesome. Like, I'm really seeing all the flowers in this as well, and like the outside energy. So like it's just getting outside. Cancer, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep honoring what feels good, because I feel like you don't need to focus. Like, the shadow attribute of this child eternal card says inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. And I don't think that that's true for you. I don't feel like you guys depend on others for security. I feel like this is a fear that someone else has, like, oh, if they just keep going out and trying new things and having all these experiences, then when are they ever going to come home? And they're just going to end up relying on everyone else because they're going to get to 30 or 40 and they're going to not have a job and not have a blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff, you know, that like societal conditioning bullshit. That's what it feels like it is for you. And I just kind of feel like, you know that you're never going to be like that. You know that you have this like drive within you. You know that you have the ability to provide for yourself. And I think that's why you're in this seeker energy, because you know this now. You know that you can take care of your security, your physical needs, all that sort of shit. And so you're not interested in that in this lifetime. This lifetime's actually calling you to learn. This lifetime's calling you to grow. It wants you to embrace new experiences, to try new things, to experience new stuff. And if that means being a little bit cheap for a while, then well and truly that's fine, because I feel like every experience is healthy to the soul. The soul is trying to experience pretty much everything. And so, you know, we literally have the soul card out here for you, and your soul is wanting to learn, to grow. It doesn't want to grow up. It wants to have fun. It wants to have creativity and play, and things were more structured and things were rigid growing up. And in your past lives and in the past, things have been rigid. Ancestrally, things feel, like I said, like there's a coldness. There's like a there's a specific box that things had to fit inside, and now it's just no more. You just can't do it anymore. It's time to go. Like your soul's calling you towards light, you know. It's like literally that sun is melting that ice. You're being called towards the sun. You're being called towards joy, what makes you feel like most alive, because that's going to thaw out this ancestral generational karma that you have, which could be to do with resources and finances and freedom and stuff like that, because you're someone that is meant to experience freedom. And, you know, you seeing things from this different perspective to your family is a fucking gift, because there's a reason that you may be the black sheep, or that you may be different to everybody else, because you are the one that's here to change it. You're the one that's here to shift it. You are progressing. Look, this is the 25 and the polar bear is the 26. So, you know, you are the progression in the line. You know what I mean? You are changing the ancestral karma of your fucking lineage. You're a Cancer as well. Like, Cancer is the mother. Cancer is the family archetype. So you naturally come into this world with an orientation towards, you know, healing financial family karma, which could be financial, you know, whatever that is. But I really just feel like July is just such a month of you owning your shit, because you're just not going to let this person's fear bother you. And I think it's going to be actually quite releasing, like revitalizing and energizing for you to sort of like really like set yourself on this path now. Like, I feel like you're already well and truly on the path, but like once you deal with have this communication, have this like experience this month where you really learn about how someone really feels about what you're doing, and you really open up and share with them how you feel about what you're doing, that whole conversation, that's really going to set you into the trajectory. Look at all that orange energy, like for so much, and yellow, for so much fun, for so much confidence in where you're headed and confidence in where you're going. And I think that this is like literally confidence in spirit providing for your soul. Like the 5th house as well came out for you. 5th house is the house of fun, freedom, creativity, playfulness, kids, you know, all that sort of stuff. This card literally says fun house. So, you know, fun is a part of your destiny. Fun is a part of what you're meant to be doing in this life. So honor that and keep doing it and keep having more fun, because that childlike energy within you is genuinely really, really healing to your ancestral unit. It's genuinely really, really healing to who you are as a soul, because this isn't something you've always been able to explore. In the past and in past lives, you had to be rigid, you had to be structured, you had to make things move in a way that felt like, you know, it would provide for yourself and others, and just really, you were very focused. I feel like you were very focused on stability, like I keep saying, Capricorn stability. Capricorn stability. You know, Capricorn is using your energy to create and build something. And I think this I want to say this year, this month, this life for you, it's really about setting yourself free. It's really about allowing yourself to have fun and to be free, and to not need to live in these rigid structures. And yeah, you know, that I'm just going to leave that at that. I think you get it. Anyway, the last card we have is Thief. Light attribute sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Shadow attribute, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers that you think you lack. And that's the thing, I don't think you're not in lack. You don't lack anything. I think that this Thief card really is shedding a light on the potential wealth within you that you already have that can never be stolen, because you realize that wealth isn't physical so much. Wealth isn't about how much money you have in the bank or the kind of car you drive or the clothes you wear or any of that shit. Wealth is essentially a feeling. It's a sense of connection that you have within yourself and the divine. I think wealth is spiritual, because wealth, I'm not talking about like hell money wealth. I'm talking about literal, like, spiritual wealth, feeling like absolutely filled up with the riches of life. And life, this life is offering you an opportunity to see wealth in a different perspective, to see money in a different perspective, and to see life, resources in a whole new light. Because, you know, I think this is a life that's built on love. It's not meant to be built on fear and lack. And I think in the past, like with this Thief coming out, like, you know, I was saying, some of you guys have an energy. You all have an energy, but some of you guys, it's your mother. You guys have an energy surrounding you of someone who's kind of siphoning sort of your vibe a little bit, because it feels like they're so uncomfortable with your freedom. And like, that's why this Thief card is coming up, because it's trying to show you that what you have within you can never be touched. It can never be stolen. It can never be taken away. It doesn't matter what anyone says. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. You always have this infinite resource within you, because as long as you are connected to yourself, you understand that you can do anything. You know what I mean? We get so convinced that the outside world is everything, and we forget that really our inner world is actually creating everything. There's literally a TED Talk on YouTube. I can't remember who the guy is, but there's a TED Talk on YouTube, a Nobel Prize winning guy, so this shit's like legit as fuck. But he was talking about how we each individually literally hallucinate our realities. You know, so if that's the fucking truth, well then fuck, can't I hallucinate something a bit more free? You know, so that's kind of the thing. It's like, things just, this is a life of really seeing things differently. And this feels like a really deep reading for you. It might be because it's your solar return and Spirit's kind of like, you know what, let's get deep on this reading, because fucking happy birthday, motherfucker. But you know, this is a brand new year for you. So your solar return is essentially when the sun returns back to where it was when you were born, and it fills you with all this light, with all this energy, with all this potential for the next year ahead. It's going to sort of like show you how the next year ahead might, what the focus might be, but what kind of themes might play out, what kind of energy you might really be putting yourself into. And for you guys, whoever's tuned into my channel, it feels like the next year for you is really going to be about just freedom, seeing things from such a beautiful high, from a fresh perspective, seeing things with just grace. I don't think it's being so rigid on anything and attached to anything. I think that there's a lot of grace that's coming in for you over this next year, and it's really, this next month is really going to be bringing that in. I also feel like some of you guys are going to be meeting some people, or you've met people that really can nurture this playfulness within you. And maybe you have family members or people that just don't quite approve of them, but you feel really connected with these people. And I just want to say confirmation, you keep doing what you want with these people. You know what I mean? Like just because maybe someone doesn't approve of them, that you really value their opinion. Just because they don't approve of them doesn't mean that you can't spend time with them. If they feel right to you, then it well and truly spend time with them. You know what I mean? I'm just seeing this like, this is like Peter Pan and Wendy sort of shit. Anyway, I'm going to leave this reading there, Cancer. Happy motherfucking birthday to my Cancer sons. Once again, I hope that you have the most incredible July. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it resonated. If you did enjoy this reading, then do give it a thumbs up, because that really helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, or what are you doing? If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through the link down below. I do tarot and astrology readings, and you can book live or you can book pre-recorded ones. There was something else that I was about to say, and I have forgotten it. Oh well. I suck at these outros. I find the outro like the worst part of the fucking video. It's just like, what am I meant to say? I always forget, and I have like stuff I was supposed to say and I always forget it. Anyway, Oh, if you guys have any recommendations for future videos that you would like me to make or anything like that, please comment that below as well and let me know. I would like to thank your angels, your ancestors, your higher self, your spirit guides, and all the beautiful benevolent beings that are surrounding you in all moments for allowing me to receive these messages and to deliver them to you today, my love. Right, Cancer. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. This is why I felt like I was seriously forgetting something. Cancer Suns, 25% off your solar return reading for the entire month of your season. So until about the 20th of July, solar return readings are going to be 25% off for you, Cancer. So if it's your birthday, fucking hit it up if you want to have a look at what is going on, could be going on for you over the next year. The link for the discount code will be down below, and I'll just share the discount code there anyway. But yeah, so if you're interested in a solar return reading, then do get that now while you have a 25% off. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now because God, I feel like this whole outro is so awkward, and if you're actually still here listening with me, I love you so much. I don't know why. Alright, I'll see you in the next reading, Cancer. Bye.